Hare Krishna. So we will start today's class with the prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurunna Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So today we are going to start the third chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita. The Bhagavad-Gita is such a wonderful transcendental science that if we study it under the expert guidance of a devotee, then we can achieve perfection in our life. We should concentrate very clearly on the questions of Arjuna, which are very relevant, and also the way Krishna answers these relevant questions, and then how Krishna makes it very practical. Krishna makes it very practical how we can actually apply this wonderful science. Now, Arjuna is asking this question to Krishna in the beginning of the third chapter. He is saying, Arjuna vacha jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tat kim karmani ghore mam niyo jayasi keshava. Arjuna said, O Janardana, O Keshava, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare if you think that intelligence is better than fruity work? So what's the question here? So question is, O Krishna, why do you want to engage me in this war? Because Krishna is telling Arjuna that you have to fight this war. You have to win this war. So, in order to fight this war, one needs to have some kind of a passion, isn't it? But Krishna is saying, have compassion. Krishna is saying, have compassion and fight this war. So Arjuna is confused. You are saying I should have used intelligence, that everybody is spirit soul, I am spirit soul, everybody is spirit soul, and we are meant to progress spiritually. Now we are meant to progress spiritually. Now spiritual progress means sitting in a peaceful place, meditating on the Supreme, focusing on the Supreme. So that is actually the focus, that we are in a very spiritual atmosphere. We are thinking about Krishna. We are understanding we are not the spirit. And then we are thinking we are not, we are really acting on that spiritual platform. I am Atma. I am Atma. Krishna is Paramatma. And we worship Krishna. That is intelligence. I do everything for Krishna. I act on the platform of the Atma. I worship Krishna. I surrender unto Krishna. I do everything. Now, where does this fit in? Arjuna is asking, Krishna, I understand that part, that Krishna, I am Atma. Krishna, you are Paramatma. I need to worship you. I need to surrender unto you. That part I understand, Arjuna, Krishna. But what I don't understand is that I have to kill these people. You are asking me, dharma means, spiritual life means, now I have to kill these people. Now, is it really spiritual life that I kill these people? I don't understand this. Spiritual life means peace, meditation, happiness. Where does killing these people become spirituality? Can you look at Arjuna's question? How can killing in this war become spirituality? So he is asking the question to Krishna. Krishna, please explain to me, how come this war, which is ghastly, which involves killing people, cutting off their hands, cutting off their legs, cutting off their head, cutting off everything, how do you think this is anywhere related to spirituality? So that is why, if we read the translation once again, very beautifully, what does Arjuna say? Oh Janardana. See, look at what the word Arjuna uses. Oh Janardana. Janardana means one who is the well-wisher of the public. Janardana. You know, we play, oh Janardana, means you, Jana means people in general, you are their protector. Right? Oh Keshava. Keshava means Krishna kills the Keshi demon. So you are the killer of the demons and protector of the people. Now you, the protector of the people, is asking me to kill all these people, to fight this war. Can you explain to me, Krishna, how is this spiritual life? How is this spiritual life? So that was his first question, right? So let's go to the next shloka. Vyamishrenev vakyena buddhim mohayachiva me tadekam vada nischitya yeno shreyaham apnuyam. My intelligence is bewildered by your equivocal instructions. Therefore, please tell me decisively which will be most beneficial for me. So, Arjuna is asking Krishna, my intelligence, now I am confused. Spiritual life means my understanding, peacefully chant the holy name, meditate, sit in a holy place, be peaceful. But Arjuna, but Krishna, you are telling me, fight this war. This is spiritual life. Now I am confused. How come this is spiritual life? Can you explain to me? You are explaining spiritual life means to always remember you, always remember Krishna, worship you, surrender unto you. How is this act of war a surrender unto you? So this is Arjuna's question. Wonderful question, isn't it? It's a very, very wonderful question. So Arjuna wanted to clear this. And why is he clearing this? Because he wants all of us to benefit. Now, Krishna begins to answer. Now listen carefully what Krishna has to say. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Lokesmin Vividha Nishta Pura Prokta Maya Naga Jnana Yogena Sankyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O sinless Arjuna, I have already explained that there are two classes of men who try to realize the self. Some are inclined to understand it by empirical, philosophical speculation, and others by devotional service. So Krishna is explaining here. Now he's trying to explain the depth, the clear understanding of bhakti. Right? So he's explaining here Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. So there are two paths. Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya means to count. You analyze this world. Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam. He's trying to develop knowledge. He's trying to do meditation. Jnana. He's trying to develop the spiritual knowledge, this jnana. This jnana yogena sankhyanam. So this sankhya, this knowledge of sankhya, how to analyze this material world. And the whole purpose of this is to understand who are you, who is this soul. When you analyze all the elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego, 5 working senses, 5 knowledge gathering senses, all these different things. And then you slowly understand that you are the spirit soul. When you remove everything, you understand you are not this body or the mind, but you are the spirit soul. And then Krishna is the supreme spirit. Krishna is actually the supreme spirit. You understand that point. So when you understand this point, that Krishna is the supreme spirit, so then this is the real jnana. So real jnana means to understand your real position. And eventually, even though one is on this path of jnana, he also eventually comes to bhakti. But bhakti in itself is a direct process, that just by worshipping Krishna, you get this knowledge automatically. This karma yoga or bhakti yoga is where you perform bhakti. And this is the direct path. And this bhakti is the direct path, means you don't have to work through karma, you don't have to develop knowledge separately. Just by serving Krishna, you develop knowledge automatically. For example, once one great personality from India, he came to meet Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. When he came to meet Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, I want to understand who is God. I want to realize. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati said, excellent, okay, please go. I will answer you this question, but first now please go and please help my priest. Please help my pujari. And then what did he do? He took the pujari. He told you go speak to the pujari. So he went to the pujari. Pujari said, I will tell you everything, but please help me wash these pots now. Help me clean this pujari room. So this, I think it was Rabindranath Tagore, great personality. He started cleaning everything. He started cleaning the pujari room. He started cleaning the pots. He did everything. And it was one great personality of India. And he started cleaning everything. And when he cleaned everything, at that point of time, after some time, he automatically said, at the end of all this work, he said, the pujari asked him, now do you have an answer to your question? This man said yes. And he went to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati beaming. He was beaming. All he did was clean the pots, did bhakti yoga, because by doing bhakti, Krishna, who is within your heart, he gives you knowledge automatically. And who is that person? He went on to establish the Benares Hindu University, and he is Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya. So bhakti is the direct process. Prabhupada says bhakti is the elevator. All the other processes are like staircases. So this process of yoga is like a staircase. And this Sankhya, this Jnana Yoga, requires a lot of tapasya. In fact, one should even take sannyasa. One should give up material life altogether. And just keep on meditating, keep on giving up this world. But a bhakti yogi, he lives in the middle of the city. Of course, that is not the ideal living. He does his job, he takes care of his family, he takes care of his parents, he takes care of everything. Even living within this material world, a bhakti yogi remains transcendental just by worshipping Krishna. You can remain transcendental in any position, in any situation, provided you worship Krishna with all your heart. So Krishna says there are two types of yogis in this world. One is Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam, the Jnana Yogi, who later also goes on to become the Ashtanga Yogi. He then tries to fix his mind, tries to meditate. But the Bhakti Yogi is directly worshipping Krishna. So he is giving a hint here. What you are doing, Arjuna, is not Jnana Yoga, it is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means all you do is try to follow what your Guru says, what Krishna says. So the hint here, he is telling him, Arjuna, this activity that you are going to do of fighting this war is Bhakti Yoga because you are following me. So that is what he is trying to say. So let's say what he says. Krishna, now he says the next verse. Na karmanam anarambhan naishkarmyam purushoshnute nacha sannyasana deva siddhim samadhi gacchati. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. He says, not by merely abstaining from work, one can achieve freedom from reaction, nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection. So he is saying here, not by merely abstaining from work. People think sannyasi means zero. Spiritual life means zero. God means zero. The whole material world should become zero. I've heard many people say that. Oh, everything should become zero. Everything should become zero. If everything has to become zero, then why, Why is there a God? Why is, then why do we exist if everything has to go into non-existence? No. We are transforming ourselves from material existence to spiritual existence, and that does not mean becoming zero. That means become a servant of Krishna. Na karmanam anarambha, not merely by abstaining from work. They think, oh, spiritual means it has got nothing to do with matter, so we need not work. Arjuna wanted to escape this war. I will not fight. He is giving reasons to Krishna. I will not fight. So Krishna is telling here, sorry Arjuna, spiritual life does not mean inaction. Spiritual life does not mean you give up your duty and run away. No. Spiritual life means that one works spiritually. And just by changing a dress, or just by taking the sannyasa ashrama without following bhakti, one cannot get renunciation. So Arjuna was thinking, I will beg and live, isn't it? That was his question in the first chapter. I will beg and live. And Krishna is saying, no. Just by giving up this battlefield, you do not become free from reaction, Arjuna. In fact, you become liable. You have given up your duty. And because you have given up your duty, you have to suffer. So spiritual life means, bottom line, does not mean giving up one's duty. If you are a student, you should become a good student. You should become a model student. That is a good devotee. If you are working in a company, if you are like a doctor or a software engineer or any professional, you should become very ethical, very moral. Just like the King Janaka. King Janaka was a liberated soul, yet he remained the king. And he became an example. That is what Krishna is saying. Arjuna, what you are trying to do, you are trying to escape this war. You are not doing your duty. First of all, one cannot give up his duty as a Kshatriya. That is what Arjuna is trying to do. He is trying to give up his duty as a Kshatriya. So this is the main thing. And then, when one accepts sannyasa, one should not think that one's duties are over. No, sannyasa means one has spiritual duty. And if one does not do his spiritual duty properly, he tells him, so Arjuna, you can become a sannyasi, but without purification, without activities of purification, all your desires within your heart will pull you back into this world. So one cannot artificially take sannyasa. One should have developed that level of purification after which one can take sannyasa. So Arjuna is trying to say, I do not want to fight. This is a ghastly war. Krishna is saying, you are not yet sannyasi, or you are at that platform, nor can you artificially take sannyasa. You should work at whatever platform you are in, on the platform of bhakti. That's the main thing. Somebody is a software engineer. He becomes a Hare Krishna devotee. What is the best he can do? He has to support his family. He has to support his wife. He has to support his kids. He has to continue doing his duty at the same time. At home and everywhere, he should become Krishna conscious. That means he eats vegetarian food offered to Krishna prasada. He chants 16 rounds every day. At home, as soon as he goes, now this is real sannyasa life. If one goes to his home and stops watching television with the family, and with the family he sits down, he chants Hare Krishna, that is sannyasa. Very simple thing. I give up material enjoyment and I work for Krishna. I work only for cultivating my spiritual consciousness. That is actual spiritual cultivation. So Arjuna is a Kshatriya, and his duty as a Kshatriya is to fight. On top of it, Krishna is the Guru, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and Krishna is personally telling Arjuna to fight. One's duty in bhakti is to follow Guru and Krishna, And that's what Krishna is trying to say. This path of bhakti, one uses everything, whatever he has in the service of Krishna, that is real sannyasa. So, now we will read the next verse. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karmakrat karyate hi havashah karma sarva prakritir jair gunaihi. Now Krishna tells something even more amazing and even more special. He says, everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something even for a moment. All of us are in mixed gunas. We are in sattva guna, rajo guna, or tamo guna, or a mixture. Usually it's a mixture. We are mostly in this city life, in this present modern condition, we are in rajo guna, mostly. Mostly we are in rajo guna, very passionate. And we have a little bit of sattva guna. If you wake up in the morning, if you attend Mangal Aarti, if you chant your rounds, then you are in sattva guna. You give up watching television, all these things, then you are in sattva guna. So there is sattva guna, rajo guna, and tamo guna. Now Krishna is telling Arjuna, to the extent you are controlled by these gunas, we are all controlled by these gunas. We are not able to see this rope, but we are forced to act in a certain way because we are controlled by these gunas. We are all controlled. Like somebody, you can say, oh, his nature is that of anger. Cannot help it. His nature is anger. What can you do? Right? So somebody is jolly by nature. You say his nature. So similarly, according to our nature, according to our guna, we are forced to act. There is the story of a jackal. This jackal is this wolf actually, this wolf. And this wolf was walking one day and somebody threw some paint from top, like a yellow and a black paint. And the wolf, because of this paint on his body, he started looking like a tiger. So when he would come to the fields from far, far away, when this animal would come, the farmers, they saw this animal and they thought, oh, there is a tiger coming. So everybody abandoned their fields and he would go and feast on one of the animals, either a sheep or a cow or something he would eat. And he thought, wow, this is beautiful. All I got is the best thing I got. What did I get? I got the color of a tiger. So then he started making a little bit of a sound like a tiger. And then he started moving around. And then everybody thought from a far distance, oh, this is a tiger, this is a tiger. And they would run away and he would feast on the animals. But one day, within a month, there was the full moon day. And when this full moon day came, this wolf, he saw, oh, it's a full moon. And what do they do? Woo! They started making a sound. He went on top and he started making howling. And then suddenly the farmers discovered, hey, this is not a tiger. And they went and they killed him. What does this say? You may change your color. You may change your dress. You may wear the dress of a sannyasi. But you will not change from inside. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you are looking for an escape route to run away from this battlefield. You are looking for an escape route to run away from this battlefield and you think you can live by begging. You cannot, because you are a Kshatriya by nature. So some lady comes and he is trying to beg from their house, and she says, go, 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 don't beg here, get out of our house. So because you are a Kshatriya by nature, can you imagine yourself, because of you are very passionate and angry, you will tell, what do you think I am? Who do you think I am to kick out like this? Because he is a Kshatriya. That's how the kings behave. I am the king. Respect me. I am the big guy, isn't it? And suddenly somebody says, get out. And what will you do? Oh, please. He will, because begging means one is, Dina by nature. But here his nature is a Kshatriya. He is a powerful Kshatriya. Now, how can he keep and beg? So Krishna is saying, Arjuna, by nature you are passionate. You are a Kshatriya. You are a fighter. So by nature you will fight. And you want to fight. That's what you like to do. As soon as a fish, you take a fish out of water and you give him Coca-Cola, you give him the best drink, most costliest drink, health drink. The fish will say, no, please throw me into the water. That's it. Outside you give me anything, it doesn't work. I am happy only inside the water. So therefore, everybody has an inherent nature. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So according to your nature, you will act. So just like some Brahmana, he says a nice forest, he will sit and meditate. A Kshatriya sees, he will say, okay, let me build a small kingdom here. I will protect the cows, I'll protect Brahmanas, I'll protect this. A Vaishya sees, oh, let's do some business here. A Shudra, oh, let me see, where can I find some work here? So that is one's nature. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you cannot go against your nature, Arjuna. You are a fighter and you have to fight. Similarly, whoever has a tendency, they have to act according to that tendency. But the but here is that I am using my tendency to actually please Krishna. I am a dancer. I dance for Krishna. I am an architect. I will do something for Krishna in architecture. I am a craftsman. I will make some nice painting or something for Krishna. I am a murti wala. So I make murti of Krishna. You do everything, but the center is Krishna. So one should use one's nature in the service of Krishna. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you are a fighter, fight for me. That is bhakti, that is yoga. That is intelligence. Now the answer is coming out. So intelligence means not just sitting, giving up everything and sitting for meditation. No, intelligence means to fight. Intelligence means to work for Krishna using that spiritual intelligence. One should work for Krishna. If Srila Prabhupada would have been happy in Vrindavan, just sitting in Vrindavan, he was happy. Srila Prabhupada was so happy in Vrindavan. But his guru said, go to the Western world and preach. If Srila Prabhupada would have said, I am happy and comfortable here, who would have come to save us? Who would have come to save us? And he came on that ship, suffering 2 heart attacks. He took that pain, and that is pure bhakti yoga, pure love for Krishna. And pure love for Krishna means you take that difficulty to please Krishna. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you take this difficulty. You may be in difficulty fighting this war, but this war is for my pleasure. This difficulty you should take in order to please me. Isn't it? So then Krishna says, okay, now the definition of a cheater. So Krishna does not want Arjuna to become like a cheater yogi. Cheater yoga means, Prabhupada says, bade, like these monkeys, bade, I forget that. Bade bade pet, Ceylon jumping melancholy. So all these monkeys, they come there and they are making big, oh, we have to jump this, we have to jump this, oh, in this Ramayana. They are going to the bank of this ocean and they have to jump in order to protect Sita onto the Lanka. And when it comes, okay, now let's jump over to Lanka. Oh, melancholy, oh, we cannot, oh, we cannot. You can pretend to be a big person, but the reality will eventually come out. Just like the werewolf story. Eventually, when the full moon came, he had to howl and he was caught. So similarly, we can act as though we are on the spiritual platform, but when the situation arises for us to surrender unto Krishna, we can immediately turn around. We can just run away. Just like there was this Kshatriya by name Uttara Kumara. Even today, the example is given, don't run away from the war like Uttara Kumara. He went to war. The whole Kaurava was there. He looked at the whole army. He said, I just don't want to fight. He started running away. So even today, the example is given that don't be like Uttara Kumara. My grandmother used to say, Uttar Kumar sa korno ka. Don't behave like Uttara Kumara. Don't run away. When exams come, students fall sick. An exam. No. When the real test comes, big people fail. So the point is, Krishna is saying here, Karmendriyani Sanyamya Ya Aste Manasasmaran Indriyathan Vimodatma Mithyachara Sauchyate. One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called as a pretender. Like we go to Vrindavan, there are so many yogis. They are sitting very silently. Looks like very meditative, but if you go close, they are smoking ganja. They are smoking ganja and they are doing some hallucinatory meditation. It may look like a yogi, but what is he doing? He is using artificial substances. So similarly, when I was in college, my professor used to say, some students look like sadhus in college, in the last bench. In reality, these students are completely drunk and they are sitting in the last bench, like straight, not moving, no expression, as though they are the best students. But what's happened here? They are in a state of complete inebriety, isn't it? So one who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called as a pretender. So pretender means externally he is appearing as though he is a very big person, he is acting very nicely, but internally he is thinking, how can I enjoy this? Like for example, recently there was this big sannyasi or a big god man in India who was caught by the police. One was this Swami Nityananda. He was caught in some tape which was showing some, very derogatory things. And then one was this Asharam Bapu. And if you listen to the scandals that happened, it's very shocking. It's really very shocking that they dress up as sannyasi, they talk like sannyasi, they behave like this, but when you look at their internal deep background, they are not sannyasis. They are pretenders. So there are big people right now in society, like these politicians. They behave as though we will do good for you every election. They say, we are doing good for you. We are your well-wisher. We are your best friends. And then what happens? When the time comes, They are internally meditating. I will make this much money. I will make this much money. But externally, we will win the elections. They are waving hands. They are shaking hands with people. I am there for you. I am your best friend. But when it comes to act, all money gone. So Krishna is saying that similarly a yogi who appears to be a yogi, who thinks or projects himself like a yogi, but internally he is meditating. How, when will I get some powers? When will I get some money? When will I get some enjoyment? Such a yogi is not a yogi. Karmendriyani sanyamya. Externally he is not doing that karma. Externally he is not showing that. Ya aste manasas smaran. But internally in the mind, when will I get that opportunity to enjoy? When will I get this woman? When will I get this money? Indriyarthan vimodhatma mithyacharasa uchyate. So he is mithyachara. So that is cheating. His acharana is mithyachara. So that's what he says. So Krishna does not want Arjuna to become a pretender. So then he says, we'll do two more shlokas for today, the 7th and the 8th one. Yastva indriyani manasa niyamarambhate Arjuna karmendriyehi karma yogam asakta sa vishishyate. On the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by mind and begins karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior. So what does he say? If a sincere person tries to control the active mind, you are trying to control, and begins karma yoga rather than simply trying to meditate and mentally thinking, oh, when will this get over? When will I enjoy? When will I enjoy? Instead of that, you remain in your position. Don't take artificial sannyasa. Don't try to be a big spiritualist, but be a humble person. I am a grahastha. Very humble. I am a grahastha. I want to control my senses. I want to be sincere. And what do I have to do? I have to surrender unto Krishna. I have to worship Krishna. I have to control my senses. To control my senses, a bhakti yogi, he uses everything. So every day he chants. When chanting, he uses his beads. He's touching the beads. He's meditating on the beads. He's hearing the holy name of Krishna. His meditation is, how can I chant Krishna's name exclusively? He's using all his senses in hearing the name of Krishna. He's thinking about Krishna. So this is very, very important. And while doing Aarti, he is gathering such wonderful articles. Dhupa, Deepa, Naivedya, flowers, all these pushpa, all these different things he gathers. And he uses all his family, all his senses, all his mind, and worships Krishna with love at home. So that is perfection of human life. That is the perfection of family life, where one uses his mind, his body, mind, and his senses, and he worships Krishna and he surrenders unto Krishna. This is a very, very important thing to do. Niyamya, by regulating, one should regulate his senses, one should regulate his mind. What does regulation mean? You sleep at a particular time, you wake up early, you chant the holy name, you worship Krishna, you worship Krishna's Murti. Niyama rabhate Arjuna. So niyama, very, very important to follow niyama. Karmendriyaihi karma yogam asakta savishishyate. With asakti, you should do it with full interest for Krishna, without attachment. Asakta means without trying to enjoy. Means everybody thinks I have to work hard in this world to enjoy. But he is thinking, I have to work hard for Krishna for Krishna's enjoyment. And when Krishna is enjoying, I am happy. I am not attached to my happiness. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karma jayo hi akarmanaha sharira yatrapi tachate na prasiddhyeda karmanaha. Perform your prescribed duty. For doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. So Krishna is telling Arjuna plainly, Arjuna, better to do one's Kshatriya duty. Because if you don't work, you will be hungry. You are not yet reached the spiritual position where you can live without food and water. So you are not in a position of a liberated soul that you cannot live without food, water, attachment. You are not completely become siddhi. Not samadhi. Samadhi means he is completely away from all material attachment, food, water, hunger, everything. But once gradually attains that stage by progressing in bhakti. But right now, Arjuna, you have not yet reached that stage of bhakti where you can give up everything. Where you can give up everything. So you have to gradually cultivate this position by which you can give up this world altogether. But till that time, you have to work diligently. You have to work diligently. You have to work sincerely. And you have to work very, very sincerely in order to serve Krishna. So by serving Krishna very, very diligently, very, very sincerely, one gets control of the senses, one gets control of the mind. So when one gets control of the senses and the mind, one's life becomes successful. So success in one's life is measured by how much one can actively serve Krishna, by how one can engage his mind and the senses in the service of Krishna actively in a very, very focused manner. So Krishna consciousness, bhakti, means activity. It means spiritual activity. And this Krishna consciousness, as Krishna, Arjuna, so to summarize today's class, Arjuna is asking Krishna, why should I fight this war, Krishna? I thought spiritual life means to sit in a corner and meditate. Krishna is saying, Arjuna, no. There are two kinds of yogis. One who goes to the Himalayas, one who becomes a sannyasi and is trying to develop jnana, trying to study Shastra, trying to develop jnana on who is God, how is God. Another person, he lives within this world. He's performing karma yoga. He's a bhakti yogi, but he is actively trying to serve Krishna. Karma yoga means in any position, rather he be a sannyasi, or he is a grahastha, or he is a brahmachari, or he is a vanaprastha, or any position in his life. He is brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra, whatever position he is all he is doing is using all his tendencies in order to serve Krishna. And one who uses all his tendency, because one has to, until one gets liberated, one has to act. One has to act in this world in order to even to work, in order to even have your food. But a real sannyasi, a real yogi, uses all the fruits of his work and he works for Krishna. Because until and unless, and even if you are a liberated soul, you will work for Krishna in that liberated condition. And even in the conditioned state, one should strive to work for Krishna. One should not become a cheating yogi just by trying to meditate and mentally is thinking, when can I enjoy? So one should try to reach the position of sannyasa even when you are active grahastha. Even if you are an active grahastha, one should act in such a way that one works as a matter of duty. one works in the grahastha to control his mind, to control his senses. And such a person who works hard in his grahastha life very sincerely, like he's telling Arjuna, you cannot give up this war and take sannyasa because you are by nature a kshatriya, you are passionate. So therefore, your nature is not to be a sannyasi. So rather, what one should do is whatever nature one has, you are a doctor, you are an engineer, you are a software engineer, you are a student, whatever your nature is, try to cultivate Krishna. Try to connect to Krishna within that position. Remain humble. Don't try to be a big spiritual man, like all these cheating sannyasis, and then cheat yourself. No. A sincere sweeper on the street is a far better person than a cheating sannyasi. So one should actively work for Krishna. One should actively chant the holy name of Krishna. One should exclusively practice bhakti. And by doing so, one's life becomes successful. One can able to control his mind, one is able to control his senses, and one's life becomes actually successful. Hare Krishna. So I will stop here. So are there any questions or comments at this point?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, हम अभी भी ईमेल नहीं है।
अच्छा,
अरे
फिर से हाँ माता जी, एक मिनट, फिर से एक बार दे दीजिए आपका ईमेल। मैंने लास्ट टाइम ऐड किया था, फिर से एक बार ऐड करते हैं।
लेकिन अभी भी नहीं मिल रहा है।
हाँ वही आपका एक बार फिर से बताइए।
SRI 33 108 GG@gmail।
हाँ ठीक है माता जी, अगले हफ्ते से जरूर मिल जाएगा।
108g@gmail.com।
ओके, थैंक यू माता जी।
अच्छा, प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna. So today's session was very special because we started the Karma Yoga. So I will welcome if anybody has any questions. If not, you can also email me your questions, or you can also subscribe to my channel on YouTube, Gaur Nataraj channel. You can subscribe to my channel, and you will get updates because I'm going to record many more short classes, and all these classes you'll be able to watch. Just subscribe Gaur Nataraj Das on YouTube, and you will get all these updates. So I will stop here. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Swamiji.
Yes, Mataji. Any question?
Hello. I had a question.
Uh-huh.
For listening to Aarti from New Vrindavan, where can I go?
You can go to mayapur.tv, and there you can go to New Vrindavan channel. So during the Aarti times, you can watch everything live.
What is that called again?
It is called Mayapur, MAYAPUR.tv.
Okay.
So Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.